Have you ever wondered why a number of times when you're trying to access a new website, there's always that option where they're asking you to either accept or reject all cookies? Now, that decision can mean a lot. In this segment, we try to unpack the implications of actually making that decision and what it means in the broader discussion we're having of how you can protect your data. All right, Johnson, it's nice to have you on the show. Manan Marcus, you're welcome.
Thank you, Charles. I'm glad to be here.
Good. Now, I know you sit in a space that is overseeing or regulating data and how it is used in this country. Now, for starters, I know the number of people watching us, and some may have an idea about data and data protection and all the issues around it. Others may not. Let's start by breaking down, when we say data, what are we talking about?
Of course, Charles, data is in a simple language. Data is maybe for the context of our subject today, I'll define it more in the personal data perspective.
I hear you.
So, in simple terms, for anyone listening, personal data is basically anything that can uniquely identify you. That means I'm talking about something that if I say a name, anyone can relate to the fact that this is Johnson. Particular things like probably your national ID number, your phone number, your date of birth, your month, your children, all these things that can uniquely identify you is what we consider as personal data.
I hear you. Yeah. All right. Now let's relate it to the economy in general. Why has it become so important to actually protect personal data? And how does it relate to, keeping a sound economy or a sane economy?
Right now, we are at a point where, in this particular, in the current state of where we are, we in the information age right now, data has now been considered as a new currency.
Okay.
That means that for businesses or for the economy, all decisions are done or considered based on the data that they actually have.
Okay.
So for anyone to be heavily competitive within the current economic ecosystem, it's from the data. Look at how companies, large companies, big or small, actually, it's not even into context of whether it's big or small. Anyone, for you to be able to advertise and market as a country, to position yourself for investment, you need the data. You need to know, as Uganda, for instance, we need to know across the globe who are the investors. Let's speak from data. Who's interested in investment in Africa? What do we have? And on the other side, they're also looking for data on Uganda. What does Uganda have? What's the population for Uganda? What's the liking of the Ugandan citizens? That's why right now, as the conversation of data for the past 5 years has picked up, and so many countries, starting from the EU, across the board, across the continent, have realized that in most cases, data has become so sensitive. It's now the current currency, and if you can control it, then you can control a lot of interests. So it's across the board. The more data you have, the more you can affect people's decisions, and this can be used across the board, like I said, for decision making, for policy making, for market advertisement, etc.
I get you. Now, as that is happening globally, what is the state of data management in Uganda at the moment?
So Uganda has had the privilege, first of all, of being across on a regional level. Uganda was the first country to start the discussion around data protection and privacy. We started discussions as early as 2018, before even the enactment of the law, which came in about 2019. So as early as about 2016, we had the discussions before. Most of the other countries have just been catching up with us because, like I said, the conversation is becoming global. So in terms of the Ugandan perspective, government has positioned Uganda as we could say we are implementing our policies as government with privacy by design, because now we understand the impact of having first of all, impact of controlling the data, and also the risks around someone having your data. So one of the initiatives that government has done is, first of all, enacting the regulation on data protection, which sets the guidelines and guides on how data processors, data subjects, And anyone who uses data should use personal data in a more controlled way and for the intended purposes. So in the perspective of Uganda, I feel that the initiative the government has done has even built a safe economic space for people to feel that they can come and invest in a country where they know that in any case, if something went wrong, there is data and I know where to get it, and even my data can actually be protected. So it's attracting a lot of investment. You can see us growing across the board: agriculture, health, infrastructure. The interest in the country has grown, and this starts from the policies. And one of the policies that we've done as Uganda is have safe guidelines and regulations for personal data.
I hear you. Now, talking about that, I want us, because you're the expert in this space, to tackle something that a number of viewers deal with every day. You go, for instance, to a particular website and or an application, and you ask for certain information. Now, there's always that word that keeps coming, cookies, and there's always that word, accept or reject all. Now, relate that to what we are talking about and what it means when a person rejects or accepts.
Okay, you see, this question comes up a lot even when we're doing the different cybersecurity awarenesses and privacy awarenesses, because obviously in statistics, you know that we have so many Ugandans who have now gone into the digital space, who are accessing the internet, doing different things.
Yes.
And obviously anyone who's accessing anything, a web-based system, it could be a website, an application, that's a common thing that pops up, cookies. So in simple terms, cookies are basically it's technology within the website that allows the website you're accessing to pick some information from you. Now, as you know, when we're browsing, we use browsers. The browsers are the normal Google Chromes, Mozilla, all those. They are the softwares we use to access the internet.
Yes.
Now, these softwares save our information. I'm sure you've come across maybe a website where you log in and the password is saved. So that's the kind of information that is saved. Now, cookies have, when you accept cookies, basically you're allowing a website to process and access the information. What cookies are meant to do for the website that you're accessing is to get some information about you and know how to better their services. Improve on probably the interface,
Yes.
improve on, get to know what you like most, so that they can now, by the time you come back, they have developed some sort of they've developed some sort of liking to that is specifically specified to you. So that's what cookies are meant to do. But however, because of the current regulation and the requirements, even those that are implementing cookies on the website have been asked to follow the regulation. One of the rights of a data subject is they need to know exactly what you're going to use their data for.
Yeah.
So in these cookies, the challenge we have is we do not read the terms and conditions, but the terms are there. So what I would advise you is, first of all, before you accept the cookies, the people who are compliant with the regulation, you're not going to stop a business from picking information if they want to market. But however, the ones that are compliant will tell you exactly why they're picking the information and what they're going to use it for. So before you click to accept a cookie, one of the things you can do is go into the details of the cookie. There's a section that if you do a drop down, they'll tell you exactly what they're going to collect. Then you can actually disable what you don't want to be processed. So for my message to citizens is just be cautious about the website you're accessing, but then again, make an effort to go into the request for the cookie and go into the settings and only accept what you feel is safe enough for you.
Now, the insurance sector plays a very crucial role in any progressive and developing economy. For Uganda's case, there's been that contention on whether the industry is playing a role critical enough to actually build and strengthen businesses. Now, to players in the industry, yes, they've done this. And today we're talking about a multi-trillion shillings industry. Now, to those on the other side, especially manufacturers, there are still some gaps that need to be bridging. Now, in this segment, we're trying to look at what the industry is doing and what the expectations of those in business, especially manufacturing, are as regards insurers.
We have taken steps to de-risk a number of sectors, including agriculture, which is the backbone of this economy. and agriculture, which feeds into manufacturing in terms of raw materials. Together with government, we've had a partnership, a public-private partnership, where government subsidizes premiums, subsidizes the premiums with a 5 billion subsidy annually, and this goes into ensuring that farmers are covered for the various risks that they face, and for them to then be able to provide the raw materials that are required in the manufacturing sector. But also when it comes to manufacturing, and one of the research components that was discussed clearly showed the risks under manufacturing, including the workers' risk, including fire, including burglary, and including health, as leading risks that manufacturing faces. Good enough, the Uganda Insurers Association, through its members, has various products that speak to those risks. Now, unfortunately, we have just discovered that the uptake when it comes to insurance, and also knowledge and understanding of insurance within the manufacturing sector, again, is still low. Some of the manufacturers take, for example, workers' compensation because it's mandatory, but they do not understand the benefits therein. And again, also the employees who are employed by the manufacturing sector are not aware of the benefits under workers' compensation. What now we are going to embark on is the aspect of sensitization. We have formed a partnership with Uganda Manufacturers Association, and what we have agreed on is to have a specific symposium speaking to insurance and the benefits of insurance to manufacturers. Again, that symposium will be organized in the early part of next year, so that then manufacturers can understand that for the risks that they face, indeed there are insurance products that can be able to hedge them against those risks. How do we ensure that we lessen the burden of taxation so that insurance can become affordable? Remember, at the end of the day, this cost is passed on to the final consumer. So for me, and in all engagements we've had with government, is how do we support and lessen the taxation burden on the insurance industry so that indeed it can play the role it is required to play, extend its reach to the majority of the masses, so that there is an aspect of affordability. Now, all insurance policies, for example, have a stamp duty on them. Some of these policies cost less than 20,000 shillings. A policy of 20,000 shillings and a stamp duty of 35,000 shillings. Again, it means that insurance becomes a little bit more expensive. So we need to give insurance a bit of time to grow and develop, so that then it resonates with the bulk of the masses, and be able then to have this uptake move from 2% to at least over 6 or over 5%.
When it comes to manufacturing, the things which are important in needs for insurance is the aspect of workman's compensation. Things like insurance for fire, insurance for theft, and then illness. These are the critical 4 areas that we think are gaps. When the gaps there are 4 around insurance, we will take you to things of financing, the area of financing, credit insurance, export guarantee schemes. These are areas which are lacking, and those are areas that we do think it is important that we have a discussion around, and we also be able to sort these areas out. What is important in manufacturing is working capital. Being able to procure raw materials, process them, sell them. Now, usually what stops businesses from going is the ability for you to get such raw materials or even intermediate goods at credit. So crafting an insurance policy around that enables companies to, instead of borrowing, just be able to procure these raw materials and pay later. So that insurance kind of scheme is very critical when it comes to financing and actually running factories.